Hello and greetings, everyone. I'm back here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park of Glendale, California. I want to do the grave of Charles Fuller. This guy was the founder of Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. He's buried up there. If you can see my red chair in the distance, we're going to go up there. Charles Fuller was an American Baptist minister and a radio evangelist. He was born to Methodist parents, but he himself was not a believer until he was a young man, an adult. He was converted under the preaching of Paul Rader of Chicago's Moody Church. Paul Rader is buried in this memorial park somewhere. We're not going to see his grave today, but Charles Fuller was a radio evangelist and a real man of God. So let's take a walk to his grave. I'm going to put the camera on pause until we get there. Okay, coming up on Mr. Fuller's grave. His parents were Methodists. His father was an orange grove owner in Orange County, California. So Charles worked in the orange grove, I guess. But in 1916, he was converted under the preaching of Paul Rader. Okay, here he is right here. Shortly after his conversion in 1916, he began teaching adult Sunday school class in the Placentia Presbyterian Church in Orange County. He soon entered the Bible Institute of Los Angeles and eventually became chairman of the board. The Bible Institute of Los Angeles is now known as Biola University, which is sort of a big name. He developed a theology, a biblical theology that was based on fundamentalism and dispensationalism. You got to understand, at this time, as more than a century in American history before this, America's seminaries were largely liberal, progressive. So to go back to a Bible conservative viewpoint was quite retroactive. And he founded the Fuller Theological Seminary with a conservative biblical view in mind. Now, when I say conservative versus liberal, conservative versus progressive, I'm not talking about anything political. It's got nothing to do with politics. Conservative views believe that the Bible is true, it's historically true, and it's to be understood in its natural sense. Whereas liberals, progressives, which still largely dominate the seminaries, they don't believe in necessarily a literal Bible, and they certainly don't make a point about salvation based on personal atonement. They go along the line of social justice, whether you're a believer or not. But see, Charles Fuller, he wanted us to go back to conservative, fundamental view of the Bible. So he held revival meetings up and down the west coast of the United States, and he used the radio to get his message out. By 1930, he had the old-fashioned revival hour. Actually, that started in 1937, and it ran for more than 31 years until 1968. The old-fashioned revival hour. I can put a link in the description to one of those broadcasts. He had millions of listeners across the United States, Canada, and in other countries. And he accomplished his goal. As his gravestone says, "They that turn many to righteousness shall shine as the stars forever." I believe that's a quote from Daniel chapter 12. He used to broadcast from Hollywood, and then he went to Long Beach to broadcast, and eventually in 1947, he opened the Fuller Theological Seminary. Now, the Fuller Theological Seminary is still going. It's not strictly conservative, fundamental Bible-based. There are now professors of more moderate and progressive persuasion in there. I myself am a conservative Christian. Conservative theologically, I believe that the Bible is historically true, that Jesus died for our sins, rose from the grave, And as I say, progressives don't necessarily believe that, or if they do, it's just not an issue in their ministry. But this is the man who helped restore Bible, conservative, fundamental views to the church. So this is his grave. This is his lovely wife, who aided in the radio broadcasts and in other things. So rest in peace, folks. I'm very, very glad that your ministry existed. First Stone says, "Blessed are they who die in the Lord." Indeed.